Hello, everybody. I don't do a cool thing like Mike. I need to maybe get one of those. My biggest thing is get a library card, please. That would probably be so much better if more people had library cards. Okay. So can everybody hear me okay? Because I got a new microphone and camera, and I'm hoping that it is working properly. My husband had already asked me, my hair is totally not done either. My husband had asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I had already mentioned it. So we went ahead and put it in the cart yesterday, and it got here today. Thank you for the recommendation, Brad. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Okay, so let's get into it. Again, this stuff is so massive, and I'm going to try to keep these short because me personally, as a YouTube viewer, I like to watch shorter videos. And I don't mean like under 30 minutes. I like an hour. Like that's my jam right there. So, hey Bruce. Hey everybody. So yay, my microphone and camera are working. Well, I know my camera is because I can see my dumb face, but thank you guys for being here. I am so I had earlier today I was thinking, "Oh, I'll just go back to the beginning of this probate case and start there." But I really don't want to actually. I want to jump in to where I believe the bankruptcy and the probate begin to merge, right? Because as we have seen and I've gone over, the bankruptcy is kind of my bigger interest, and I think everything else just ties into it. Later on, I'll go back and we'll look at it from the beginning, but I just, like I said, I want to go over that massive document that has I think it's 124 pages. I want to go over that and jump into some of the, oh, my daughter's calling, that's wonderful. Sorry, not now, her dad will explain. I want to jump into like I said, what the um bankruptcy and the probate case, how they've intersected and how that applies. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to share my screen here. I'm tricking myself actually. I put my face over on this side so it would force me to look into the camera that I set up. Here we go. Oops. And we're going to share screen, and we're going to share my window. No, I'm going to do a tab. There we go. Okay, and let's make that a little bigger. Oops. Maybe. Come on. That kind of works. Okay. So, does it work? Kind of works. I just want to, why is it Chrome and all their stupid, I know there's a way to, hold on here, guys. I know there's a way to make this bigger. I don't like the way it's showing up. Like I want my tabs to go away. Hold on. That probably won't help, so never mind. Okay, we're just going to go into it. So to wind back a second, we all know that the GoFundMe was created at the beginning of January. And soon after that, the probate case was filed, right? So, and I say it was filed, that's the wrong way to say it. The motion was filed to reopen the probate case. So Jan's asking the probate court to reopen the case and force the trustees or representatives, which are both the same, of the estate and the trust, Jen. Okay. um, they I hope everybody can see it actually. So they as it wants to force them to distribute money that one she thinks the trust is hiding, I guess. And two, and the most unhinged part of it is that she has come up with this formula of supposed income that the trust should have earned over a certain period of time. And she wants half, not even half. She wants all of it, really. She doesn't even want to half it. She don't want to be half in it. She wants all of it, which is wild. Um, so I just don't know. I'm gonna mod Bruce here real quick, guys. Hold on a second. I don't know. Um, I don't know where she. Well, I should. We'll go over where she came up with her numbers. They're in typical Jan format, insane. But okay, well, I can't do that right now. I can't do two things at once, apparently. So I'll do that later. Um, the sorry. Who wants to right. Well, that's a thing. And we'll go over it. Okay. So she she has this weird obsession with what he should have done, what they should have done. Why didn't they do it this way or that way? And the bottom line is she wasn't a trustee, right? She's a beneficiary and you have rights as a beneficiary. But that those aren't like you have to assert them. You can't come in a decade later and say, "But wait, I wanted this or that." So, like I said, she's unhinged. But so there's been some motions back and forth, and she filed to, like I said, reopen it, and we'll go over that. But the response to that is really the document that has the most incredible information, I guess, in my opinion. I don't know. Can you guys? That does seem. It seems like it's not right on the screen. I'm gonna try here. Okay. So with this, what I keep trying to. Okay, I'm dumb. I keep trying to scroll on the wrong screen because again, I tricked myself with how I have it showing up over here. Sorry, cracking myself up. Okay, my favorite part of this document maybe is the fact that Mark and Dale's attorneys might have a little bit of savage in them because they have listed Jan as Elizabeth Ann Naylor Owens, also known as Eno. Eno. So that cracked me up. I don't know if I just had been looking at this document for way too long or all of these documents for way too long, but it made me laugh pretty hard. Because that's just like an epic thing to do, in my opinion. So, as she's referred to in the rest of the document, whereas Dale and Mark are just Dale and Mark, but it's fine. Okay. Yeah, right. um, so here we go. It goes over, okay, actually, this is important. So there's this whole thing with the attorney withdrawing. Guys, this document is huge, and I don't understand about 50% of it so far. Like I haven't had time to absorb it. It's impossible. It's impossible to absorb all of it at once. So what I'm actually going to do, because I created bookmarks, which I really, really hope worked here. You know what I'm going to have to do? Here, hold on. I'm going to do this a different way. There we go. We're going to share a different screen, actually. Hold on. Stop. And we're going to add screen. Sorry, guys. I should have been more prepared, but it's okay. Window. Where'd it go? Is that it? No. Where'd it go? I don't want to do that. Hold on. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Sorry, share. All right, you guys, so glad you joined so early. All right, let's upsize this Mamma Jamma again. Oop, hello. I created some bookmarks on this one because I knew I would be jumping around. And actually, we're going to go to the settlement agreement first. So, oh, God, I went size. Okay, yeah. Hold on a minute, guys. I swear. I was more organized yesterday. What the heck? Hold on. Why isn't it? So, anybody who's been following the bankruptcy may have already seen this document. It was included in the bankruptcy claim filing that Mark and Dale filed. So a couple things are going on with this lawsuit that or I should say reopening that Jan requested. One thing is that all the property of the estate was transferred into the trust when the mom died. So technically the estate is done and settled and over with, right? And everything else is sitting in the trust. So the trust is the document that still did need to be settled. And there are a couple things that need to be settled out of it. The sale of the house, which did happen in 2023, and the miscellaneous property. I don't know if you guys saw the list of like, oh, here we go. It's this list of like property of the portraits and every time I switch this stupid screen, it's going to do this. And every time I'm going to try to resize it on the wrong screen. But this is like all of the, personal property that was sitting in the house for who knows how long. And there's these lists of all of the stuff and what they total and how they were going to split it up between each other. This is a little bit funny to me because you see this a lot also in divorce records, which is sad, but it's common, where you'll see this kind of detailed list about who's getting what. Bruce. Funny guy. So we've got the property and the paintings and the footstools and who knows what else, right? But we're going to go down to, hold on here. We're going to start actually at the demand letter that we started at that we talked about last night. And here's why. Because I want to, I mentioned last night a few times that the demand letter has holes in it for lots of reasons. And the document, the entire document, the whole of the document does address those holes, right? So the filing itself from Jan's brother. Yeah, tonight I'm not doing so great. Sorry. The filing from Jan's brother has like answers to these demands, so to speak. But I really want to get into the guts of this part of it because if you thought this letter was unhinged, wait till you see the rest of it. Okay. So we went over this last night, very Victorian era drama, Scarlett O'Hara kind of writing style. And at the end, we have, if you fail to meet the following demands within the timeframes listed below, I will initiate criminal investigations, contact the New Mexico Attorney General, and pursue a full probate reopening to address these breaches. So this is also kind of funny to me the more I think about it, because you usually put the most threatening thing at the end of that, of those list of three things. And I don't know, I feel like she did it backwards, but whatever. Um, so okay, so the question was, how do they value the the property? How they value a personal portrait is worth hundreds of dollars. I can't imagine a portrait of their family's worth anything. And then Bruce said, he if Jan owes taxes, it's worthless. If she doesn't, it's worth 20 grand. So this is the final demand letter. Um, it's not a loan letter, but this is a final demand letter, and this was it sent, prepared, drafted, whatever, on October 31st, 2024. And if you look at the bankruptcy claims that are filed, you will see that a lot of last payments on accounts started happening around that time, right? Um, so yeah, we do need a timeline. And some people who I know who are very good at creating timelines could do that. Love you guys. So yeah, let's get to the even crazier part of this document. So here's where we have she has line itemed each thing she wants, okay? And the reason she wants it, the reason she thinks she's justified in receiving it, as well as the time frame for which they are to give it to her. Okay? So this is interesting, to say the least. All right? So okay. You know what's getting to me is last night, I swear the screen that I was looking at was bigger. Anyway, I'm going to read this way. So there's a side agreement. So okay, backing up, sorry. And I keep trying to scroll on the wrong damn screen. Wow. There's a side agreement. So Mark and Dale and Jan came to an agreement, the settlement agreement in 2022. And then, as I mentioned before, when they went to sell the house, the side agreement, or the agreement they had made, didn't allow for the money to be dispersed the way they thought it would be, right? They thought they would be able to take out the loans that she owed them out of the proceeds. Unfortunately, because of the way they titled the property in Mark and Jan's names as 50-50 owners, the title company has to disperse the money exactly that way. They can't like give one person more, even if there's documentation behind it. The IRS is really strict with title companies and settlement companies and the way they distribute their money. And we have escrow accounts that are regulated very heavily. So we don't like to tick off the IRS when they say we should be reporting things and how we should be reporting them. So this is what we do. We make sure that the checks that we write match what the transactions, what the ownership said it was, and that we paid it out accordingly. Okay. So now, if you get a refinance and you pay off your credit cards, that's not the same thing because it's not proceeds from a sale, which is subject to IRS taxation. Okay. So this letter is also, yeah, the tone. It's a tone. And it's gross, but see, Bruce. Title company has to disperse precisely. For example, if you have a trust getting the money, the account has to be in the name of the trust. My gosh, I wonder I wonder sometimes if Bruce is like a secret escrow agent. He hasn't told me, because he seems to know a lot about the industry, and and so many people don't, including millionaires who create trusts and argue with us that we can't send their money to them their personal accounts. So yeah, you have to match. And they're bit IRS is sticklers on that. Okay, so anyway, to resolve that issue, because the proceeds had to be paid directly out, they made a side agreement. I don't know if it was even necessary, but their side agreement basically said, hey, after you get your money, you're totally going to pay us, right? And Jan said, sure, I can go over the exact wording later. But now, of course, Jan's coming back and saying, no, wait, I signed it under duress. It's okay. So let's just invalidity of the March 28th, 2023 side agreement. The side agreement dated March 28th, 2023, in which you conditioned my estate distribution on a demand for personal loan repayment, is coercive. Where have we heard that word before? Coercive, legally voidable, and contravenes New Mexico law on multiple counts. So we have a lawyer in the family. Who knew? The side agreement was imposed under circumstances of financial duress, exploiting my need for rightful estate access to estate funds. New Mexico law renders voidable any agreement signed under coercion or undue influence. I don't know. I read those emails. If you had one loan, I could think you could make that argument maybe if you had one, even two, right? But we all read those emails where she needed money, and love sis and hey bro and all that crap. That's my technical term for it, crap. Okay. The demand to repay personal loans in exchange for estate distributions constitutes coercion, avoiding the side agreement's repayment clauses. It doesn't. Okay. It is a blatant, see, okay, the qualifiers here, right? We don't need them. We don't need them. We don't need to say blatant. We don't need to go into this dramatic monologue when we're talking about legal things. You can just say the words that get to the point. Anyway, blatant act of self-dealing, prioritizing your financial interests over beneficiary rights, which cited law prohibits. I didn't look it up. I don't care. Using the estate to secure personal financial benefit is an abuse of trust and validating the side agreement's repayment terms. The trust spendthrift clause, I really want that trust. If anybody can get their hands on it, I want it. Explicitly prohibits beneficiary interest from being used as collateral for debt satisfaction. She totally misunderstands the application of that. Like, it's comical. Conditioning my inheritance on loan repayment breaches this provision. The direct contravention invalidates any claims for repayment under the side agreement. Okay, so again, not a lawyer. Maybe she's right about part of this. I don't know. It is not great that they were both trustees and the individuals loaning her money. I'll give her that. It's not ideal. Let's say that. It's not ideal. Because we've talked about how you mix your personal finances with your LLC finances and all of a sudden you're commingling, right? However, what I believe the laws she's citing and the clause she's citing is intended for is that if I'm Eno, I might start calling her Eno just entirely. Eno, and I file for bankruptcy. My creditors cannot necessarily come at my trust interest to the detriment of other trustees. Okay. And again, not a lawyer, but that's my understanding of it. So I think that she has twisted, which, we're used to, twisted some legal arguments into fitting her situation. Yeah. And exactly. Like, how, so in my opinion, she has just gone full scorched earth here, right? Like, we don't care if we have a relationship with our brother anymore, period, flat out done, right? Um, I feel like it sounds to me as if Mark and Dale um, are non-confrontational people, maybe, and this is just like this is the straw, right? Okay, so what Bruce says, wait, why would the estate distributions be predicated on personal loan repayment? So what Jan did, and we don't know the conversations that happened behind this, but when Jan borrowed the money from Mark and Dale, those 4 loans, which are now what, 65,000 plus interest, what they did was they said, rather than making monthly payments to us, rather than having a term where you pay us back in a certain amount of time, although there was a time frame on it, but I'm just saying, like, rather than normal loan terms, we'll, and it may be because she asked, we'll just deduct it from your distribution. Like, when you get paid out of the trust, when it's all settled, we'll just take it at that time, right? They probably did it for easiness, like, it probably made sense, and she signed an agreement, um, collateralizing it, so yeah, and that's the thing, right? Reasonable intentions, but they don't work like that, and that's where we're at, and that's why we're where we're at, and I wonder if, they ran this by their attorney when they did it, because they had a trust attorney and an estate attorney. I don't know if they did or not. Um, but exactly. Exactly. So, I don't know. I again, we're in fantasy land right now, right? The the second highlighted, underlined, whatever she wants to call it, demand is, here we go again. Unauthorized reallocation of estate assets, illegal and criminal amendments. So the document entitled Tangible Personal Property Designations purports to reallocate a substantial a portion of the estate's valuable assets to Mark Naylor based on alleged conversations with Mark. She claims such claims lack legal merit and are inadmissible for the purpose of altering estate distributions. Altering an estate plan posthumously. Okay, but okay. On the basis of undocumented statements is unauthorized and contravenes blah, blah, blah. Any modification to a will or a trust after the testator's death, particularly one that results in a preferential distribution to a single beneficiary, is unlawful, thereby invalidating those designations. Okay, but here's the deal, right? We've laid a lot of stuff out here, but we don't say what, when, how. So we don't know what this means. This you said mom loved you more than I did. I don't know. There's nothing here that says you took the vase from the hallway and you kept it and you knew that she wanted me to have it. Or you knew that that tipped your half over what I was supposed to get, right? So the other thing is she's going back and forth here between trust and estate, and it really does matter because they were the trustees. The trustees do have control, and we'll go over that in a minute. Okay. So, um, Bruce, they could definitely hang on that wall of whatever stuff there was. And Bruce has said this before in another stream, and dude, if you don't listen to any advice right now, listen to this. And I say, not even relatives, friends too. Don't loan money unless you're prepared to treat it like a gift or go to court over it, right? I mean, that's just good, solid advice. I don't know. I didn't look. I guess I should have, but I lost the criminal amendments part. I don't know what's criminal about that. I don't know what takes this from equitable claims to criminal accusations in her mind. And again, we don't have it really laid out here. Um so the trust has a clause, and it might even be in the will, has a clause that says that as payment for being a trustee, because typically trustees actually do receive some sort of benefit from doing all the work, they get a certain kickback, right? This is 5%. And so Jan's saying that because this is like, okay, this is what's cracking me up, right? Let's read it real quick. The original trust agreement provides for a 5% bequest. I don't think it says it that way, but anyway, to Markendale upon my death. As this distribution was not completed in 2011 or the intervening years, its validity expired per the terms of the trust. Any attempt to distribute this 5% now constitutes an unauthorized retroactive claim, which contravenes fiduciary responsibilities and misrepresents the original intent of the trust. Okay. I don't see a case law cited there. I just see your thoughts and feelings about it. It's also funny because in another document, I don't know where it is. I do, but we'll go over it another time. She says that he benefited by waiting to pay himself that 5%. So basically, the trust did gain value over time, and that because he paid himself later on, instead of right away, he got like a benefit. And guys, I'm talking about, it's a very small benefit. It's like maybe $1,000. Okay. So, failure to provide accounting and misappropriation of funds. As co-trustees, blah, 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 requires you to provide annual certified accountings of all estate transactions. See how we're doing this with words here? And my brain is going to glitch every time it happens. I'm so sorry. Are they trustees or are they estate representatives? Because those are two different things in this exact scenario. They are two different things. And I really think she's thinking of a probate estate case, because those are required to do annual filings. I don't know about certified, but I mean, they're testified to, so maybe that's what she thinks. Anyway, however, the only accounting, I didn't realize I was so close to my camera. Sorry. Wow. Hello, Tiffany. You have provided was in the non-judicial settlement agreement, which omitted specifics, bank statements, transaction dates. It didn't. The lack of transparency extends to all estate accounts and is a deliberate violation of New Mexico's trust and probate laws. Okay, real quick, because this is why I bookmarked stuff, because here's the funny thing. It says here, bank statements and transaction dates. Okay. Now, obviously, Mark was smart enough not to file bank statements. Thank you. But we've got here, this is the all the money that they advanced to the estate. Okay. So you probably can't see it very well, but it's basically just a list of all the things that they paid to keep up the house and pay the property taxes and build a fence and blah, 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 right? Like, it's there. It was given to her. It's there. It's pretty lengthy. It's documented. Like, they're every so they did their accounting is weird to me, and I only say that in a sense of the math. I don't like accounting math. I like ledger math, and those are two different things, whether you believe it or not, they are. I do closing statement math, which is column A, column B, pluses, minuses, what's it equal at the bottom, right? Very simple Excel spreadsheet, 2 columns, done. Uh, Accounting math is not my friend. So I don't understand it. It probably makes sense to them, but I would want to see it in a different way. So anyway, let's go back here. I thought I did. Okay. So, um, oh my God, Jan, for real. Under the conditions of financial duress. Oh, sorry. This is, yeah, the settlement agreement obtained under conditions of financial duress fails the good faith legal standard under blah, 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 which mandates that trustees act transparently and avoid exerting undue pressure on beneficiaries. Your control over essential state assets and your refusal to release my rightful inheritance left me no option but to sign the settlement agreement in a state of financial distress. Have you ever been in any other kind of state since 1995? The breach of good faith establishes grounds to deem the settlement agreement a voidable contract. I'd say objection offers a conclusion, reflecting your improper manipulation of trust authority to serve personal interests over beneficiary welfare. Okay, again, I might not love their accounting. I don't see anything shady about it. I mean, for crying out loud, this woman can't prepare her business tax returns because she doesn't have access to her credit card statement, her online credit card account anymore. Okay? So when she filed her bankruptcy, knowing she was filing her bankruptcy and what would happen out of it, all of her online access was shut down. You can't tell me the attorney didn't prepare her for that. Before filing, she didn't think, I should download all of this stuff, right? Like, I'm a saver. I'll put everything in my Google Drive. Download all of this stuff that I might need so that I can finish what I'm supposed to be doing with it, with that information. This wasn't even a thought in her mind until that creditors meeting when he said that she needed to file her taxes. So that being said, she can still get that information. It's just going to be a little more difficult. So we're looking at somebody who does that, right? That level of chaos. That's why I keep calling this chaos. And then we have these, like, guys, these ledgers and statements are insane to me. I can't, like, there's so much math going on and documentation and proof of documentation and spreadsheets and expense lists and distribution lists. It's like wild that we've got inventory and all of this stuff. Who got what? There's a friggin' spreadsheet of who got what with initials. Okay? Come on. You're joking, right? Yes, Bruce, that's exactly what my Google Drive's called. Oh gosh. Yes. You could ask Jen if she wanted a glass of water and she'd accuse you of waterboarding her. It's so accurate. Yeah. So This was 124 pages. Oh, because I deleted blank ones. I'm like, "Wait, somebody just said it was 114 pages." But that's because it was 124, but there were blank ones in here that I got rid of. Oh, I also got rid of a chunk of stuff that we have already, and it was just too much to have in there multiple times. Okay. Anyway, and that's the thing. Exactly, Zoe. So there's these crazy accusations with case law that we don't even know if it matches up, and honestly, I don't care because people apply the law wrong all the time, including myself. So it really doesn't matter. She's not an attorney. But then we don't have specific, detailed, itemized list of what happened and how it actually does wrong you. Okay. It's just a bunch of it's coercion. It invalidates, it's criminal, it's voidable. There's all these buzzwords, right? Ugh. Okay. So I'm just gonna skip. This is about the voidable agreement under coercion, undue influence, blah 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 blah. We're gonna skip through part of this because I want to get to the part where she gives deadlines. All right. Here we go with the unauthorized relocate. Oh, that's why I already covered it. Hello, back up, Tiff. Here we are. Didn't give the accounting, no good faith, legal grounds to deem the settlement agreement a voidable contract. Okay. I mean, you still have notes that you signed that can be collected on, but and those will well, I mean, interest stops now, but when the stay gets lifted, they'll come right back up. Um Yeah, this is okay. She goes into she delayed in she says they delayed in providing a full and accurate property inventory, and it's compounded this lack of transparency, violating your duties to fully disclose estate assets to beneficiaries. Okay, you didn't know what your mom had? What? I have a feeling you knew exactly how many bank accounts she had, what was in them, every item of jewelry, anything that was valuable. I'm pretty sure you kept track of it. Um, but sure, let's pretend they didn't tell you what was where. Failure to reveal or release a complete, it's the same thing, a complete and verifiable inventory for so long, doesn't say how long, raises serious concern as to whether assets have been concealed, misreported, or possibly disposed of improperly. Guys, if you saw the detail that well, and you can see the docs just as easily as I can. They, they, they saw, if you saw the detail to which they documented things, it's wild. Okay, so Sour and I talked about this earlier today, and I actually found something that is interesting. I think it's in this document that I'm going over. So let me get to it. Okay. Such obfuscation only heightens suspicions of gross mismanagement or potential misappropriation. I think you're thinking of your own bank account, but okay. Blah blah blah. You owe me money because I say so. All right. So unaccounted for funds. It says that there's this 108,000 worth of itemized. This cracks me up. In itemized expenses without any supporting documentation. Well, it's itemized, so that's helpful. Despite my repeated requests, these unexplained withdrawals suggest gross mismanagement or potential misappropriation. There's a pretty detailed list of exactly what went where, but okay. Then she's hung up on this $31,000. Now, this is also interesting. My review of estate records reveals a major financial discrepancy in the form of $31,000. Well, I thought you didn't have estate records. But now you've had them and you reviewed them and you found discrepancies. Okay, sure. Um, and she puts the bank and account number through this whole document. It's annoying, so I got rid of it. Um, and it says that the funds were used for my mother's funeral and estate administration. Yet the funeral home confirmed that the funeral costs were only $3,400. Okay, well, estate administration could include attorney's fees and a lot of other stuff, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that the total cost was 31,000. It's just not. I'm surprised that the funeral was that cheap, to be honest. Seems weird. Maybe one aspect of it was, but that's an awfully low price for a funeral. I don't know. Are they cheaper in Arizona? Does anybody know? I mean, that's not like my grandma was 93 and had prepaid most of hers, and it was still $15,000. So I don't know. We gave her a proper send off. So he's repeatedly failed to provide bank records despite requests, as she says here. But again, she's reviewed them. So I don't get it there. And the mismanage of the trust accounts. He says they failed to properly title accounts in the name of the trust, which is, as she says, a direct contravention. Of fiduciary standards. And the co-trustee, Dale Gunn, used personal funds to supplement estate expenses. I don't know that that's entirely uncommon as long as you reimburse yourself and document it, which it seems like, dude, these guys had they wired money back and forth between the same bank. You don't have to do that. That's an unnecessary expense. Wiring is for exchanging money between different banks. They wired money back and forth to keep it legit. They wrote checks to keep it documented. I don't know. So anyway, these inconsistencies only underscore the lack of a transparent financial structure. And you would definitely know what that looks like, eh? So, yeah. You are supposed, if it's a trust account, it's supposed to be named in the trust. I don't have the documentation, so I don't know. I know who I believe, but yeah. No, she did die. She did die in 2011. Oh, I missed something. Sorry. I missed whatever happened just now. But yeah. Okay. Oh, and then here we go into the interest rates on the loans. Oh, the interest rates on the loans is usury, of course, now. I see. Yeah, not COVID. It's an abuse of trustee power, prioritizing your financial benefit over my interest as a beneficiary. That's not what's happening here. You collateralized your distribution. The necessity of these loans, which benefited yourselves, really, while withholding rightful distributions constitutes intentional abuse of trust that forced me to into financial damaging agreements. So what happened in 95, 2005? Okay, whatever. Oh my God. Any further demands for repayment on these exploitative terms will be regarded as additional breaches of fiduciary duty and will not preclude immediate law enforcement. No, here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Immediate 911 level notification of our immediate law enforcement notification should demands remain unmet. So she's saying, you can't even tell me that I owe you money anymore because I'm going to call the police on you if you do that. Interesting. There's something about an IRA and other stuff. I don't understand that part, but they had to pay a penalty. I don't know. I, whatever. Really? 23,000? That's 1 month of income. If you're entitled to it, sure, you should get it. But I don't believe that you're entitled to it. That's just my opinion. Here we go. Again, just so much dramatics, unauthorized distributions, the coercion, of the settlement agreement, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to blah, blah, blah my way through this. It sounds like I am, but it's all repetitive. This is funny. This is where we get good too. Concealment of storage unit location and unauthorized deductions. Your Exhibit A lists, Exhibit A from what document? Dumbass. Lists various estate items marked in storage for me, yet you have failed to disclose the storage unit's location or provide access to its contents while asking me to pay storage fees. Your refusal to release the property and provide location information represents a further breach of fiduciary responsibility and willful withholding of estate property. There was no need for any estate items that were rightfully mine to be stored by you at a location unknown to me of 13 years after my mother's death. Again, you should have put the hour in there. It would have been more of a punch, Jan. Just our mother's death sounds so much more dramatic. Well, get better. Those items should have been distributed to me long ago, as was my mother's wish. I have repeatedly asked that they be sent to me, and you've repeatedly refused my request. Exactly. They're just not. It's insane. I'm gonna call the police on my bank because you gotta send him a dead man letter first, telling him. I think that's the the school of thought. Okay, so she doesn't know, like, the storage is hidden, secret location. We don't know anything about it, right? Let's see. Let me find it real quick here. Nope. Where'd it go? Am I missing the actual? No, I just didn't bookmark it. Hello. We gotta go page up here. Oh, hold on. Here it is. Give me 1 second. There's a point, and I had it bookmarked earlier, and then I kept finding more stuff that needed to be redacted, and every time I would redact, it would remove my bookmark, and it was a whole cycle. So hold on here. It was a letter from her attorney. Hold on. It's about that storage unit. Let me find it real quick. Nope. Give me 1 second. Was it from her attorney or his attorney? Bear with me. I keep looking at the same damn letter. Okay, well, let's here, we'll do this one real quick while I find the other one. So, this is talking about the items, right? So this is a list of the personal property items, and this is dated September 25th, 2023, so well before October of 24. Here's the list that are in storage and that Mr. Naylor continues to pay the monthly rental fee of $320 on the 5th of every month. Mr. Naylor has agreed to pay rent for October, but Miss Owens will need to make arrangements to continue to lease under her name before their November renewal, or move the items out of storage into her possession. Okay. So here's something interesting. This isn't what I was looking for, but I'm going to bring it up right now. In the bankruptcy documents, they listed that they owed Mark and Dale storage fees. Well, why would they owe Mark and Dale storage fees if Mark and Dale owed them money and didn't give them the opportunity to pay for it? Because here's the deal. If my brother, I don't have brothers, but if my brother said, here's the, I'm putting all your stuff in storage, but won't tell me where or how to pay for it, I'm not sending him any money. Tell me the information. Page 94. Thank you, Jen. There's a wait. Hold on. Okay, wait. But there's a spot in here. Hold on a second. I thought there was one of these letters where Jan had paid a few months of the storage fee. That's what I was looking for. Okay, hold on. Wrong page. Oh, it's going to be all messed up because thank you, 90, because I took pages out. Okay, here we go. So, is this the one where she talked about she didn't need anything because they bought the house furnished? Well, here, let's just go over this one. Attached is a revised copy of the inventory and appraisal, and with designations as to who has spoken for specific individual pieces. So this is a letter from Mark's attorney to Jan's attorney in November of 23. Okay. We understand in a phone conversation in September of 22, Jan told Mark what specific items she wanted from the inventory list, as well as other small items of sentimental value. At that time, she told him that he would get no argument from her regarding the personal property and furniture distribution. Yep, that's the clause. Jen found this yesterday. She told Mark that she had recently bought a furnished house in Scottsdale and had left in storage in San Francisco the contents of her 4-story home and didn't need any more stuff. That's interesting, right? Okay. I could have sworn I saw one of these letters where it said that she was. Jan's share of the proceeds from the estate sale have been retained to pay for the storage unit rent attached. On December 5th, 2023, the rental agreement will need to be transferred to Jan's name, into her name, along with assuming the cost. She will need to respond definitively to the inventory distribution list by November 15th, 2023. Okay, so that was 90. Was that? That's E. So where's F? That's an email. Email from Summer. Okay, haha, I'm gonna find it. Give me a second. I swear there is a spot where she mentioned. I can't find it. I'm not going to keep doing this. But I swear there's a page in here somewhere. End of first paragraph. Oh, sorry. Okay. Gotta go back. This one? No additional accounting is needed. She freely signed. Okay. Following the execution of the settlement agreement, your client never inquired about the expenses or the status of the house or its contents after assuming its obligation. This obligation. And for that matter, during the 11 preceding years. Again, I think these guys are a little bit savage. Oh, it was old. I did already read it. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm trying not to jump around as much, but I wanted to find that spot where I swear I saw that she had paid a couple of months of the storage unit, but then stopped. So it's fine. I'll get over it. It'll come to me at some point later on. Let's go back to our demand list and finish up. Okay. So deductions, concealment. Oh, sorry. Here's our withdrawals. Where did we were just talking about property, right? Yeah. Those items. Oh, yeah. My mother's wish. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So, like, the way the attorneys responded to this was pretty excellent. They actually weren't responding to this letter. They were responding to her reopening the probate, but they addressed these issues where they showed that they did, in fact, give her the things that she asked for when she asked for them. Okay, so legal and fiduciary failures. You're bad, I'm good. Now pay me some money. So here we go with timelines. She's lost money, you guys, and it's bad, and it's all Markendale's fault, okay? Like, that's obvious, right? The family home remained under the estate's management for over a decade before finally being sold in 2023 to G Investments for $325,000. A price significantly low. The properties, here we go with bolding, makes the point. Fair market value. According to two industry standard real estate valuation sources. This is also comical to me because I've never heard of Mashvisor, and I'm sure I'm going to get a comment where somebody's heard of it and it's a big deal. Fine, whatever. I've never heard of it. And Movado. And again, you can't use AI and that's what they are. It's not AI. It could be a computer algorithm, but it's using some sort of not on-site valuation process. And you can't use that in determining a house that's sat for however long as it did, right? So issues, right? And of course it was worth so much more. It's not even worth this amount now. The valuations for the property as of March 30th, 23, which was the closing date, okay? You can't change the price on the closing date, but was $629,950 and $459,260. Okay. Those are two wildly different numbers. Like 20% difference between the two numbers based on my quick math, right? The average fair milk. So like she took it and she did. Oh my God. She took and divided it. Oh my God. Okay. And so she took that number and said, okay, fine, we'll split the baby. The house is worth $544,000. We don't have any proof that anybody offered that amount of money. Okay. Then she took the difference of that and said, okay, so it should have sold for $544. We're going to take $320, which is what it did sell for, which really it was $325, but okay. And there's this measurable financial loss and deficit, all the trigger words of $224,605. So Here's the funny thing. The loss of this money exemplifies the breach of fiduciary duty, blah, blah, blah. We've heard this story before already 14 times in this document. She wants full compensation. She wants the full amount. She doesn't want half of it. She wants the full amount of this difference, okay? Because she suffered financial harm. It doesn't work like that, but okay. Loss of rental income. So this is okay. Which is it, right? Did we lose money selling the house for a smaller amount, or did we lose money by not renting the house out? So we go through again where we use these random websites to figure out what the potential income, rental income, could have been for this property over a period of time. And I'm sure Laura is nips deep in this stuff, okay? And it's reaching an approximate 2134 a month by 2023. So the average, of course, however they came up with these numbers, the average of that is $2,200 a month over the 12-year period. That sounds legit. Here's the thing. Rentometer, she used Rentometer data. They lost all this income. We're not taking into account any expenses that go along with that, because when you do have a rental, your other expenses go up significantly. And you're assuming that you're going to have consistent renters. And you're assuming there's no changes in the market. And I'm telling you right now, that house just listed and got re-rented for $2,200 or $2,000 a month. So it wasn't making $2,200 12 years ago, but okay. Oh, and then if they would have done an Airbnb, it would have been $4,500 a month. Sure, totally. Like that one. I mean, maybe this is where we should have bought the Airbnb. Maybe we should have bought it in New Mexico and not Arizona. Maybe you'd be doing all right if that's the case. So she wants, I don't even understand her math here. Failure to secure this entitle me to claim 100% of long-term rental estimate of $258,000 as compensation. I don't know how she came up with that number. It doesn't even make sense. Okay, so we're going to keep going here. We have the failure of the documentation. Okay, hold on, I'm going back a second because I underlined it earlier. So I said I would talk about it. I got to find it again. But the bottom line is, oh, here we go. Here's the clause I want to talk. I'm going to actually super zoom in. Here's where she says hold on. Even though the Elizabeth Williams Naylor Trust Agreement provided trustees with the authority to sell or lease the property for any period. Did it demand that they do? Did it require that they do? Or did it say that we can do it? We have the authority to do it, because you have to have the authority to do it if you're going to do it, right? Doesn't mean you have to. So your realistic data-backed rental estimates are garbage. That's the bottom line. And I don't think that you have a case for them being mandated to rent it out, because I feel like you would have said it that way if you did. Okay, that's my rant about it. I don't know why they didn't sell it. I don't know why they didn't rent it out. I don't know. I mean, you can make the argument. Does it benefit it? Does it benefit it? I don't know. because you have to hire property managers, and there's so much expense that goes into it. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. I really don't. I don't want to speculate. I know that there, again, is a side in this case that I have not heard, and there's a side in this case that I've heard way too much about. And I am giving favor to the side that I haven't heard yet. So, I think that some work had to be done to it. Fletcher Boy, by the way, hello. I think some work, I think actually a significant amount of work had to be done to it, because it did go up in value after the new buyer bought it, and then they rented it out, and it even, like, the assessment went up and everything. It seems like they did some work on it and improved the property, and then they leased it out. But I mean, who knows what it was like when mom was living there? I don't know. I don't know. And again, I can see how people get caught in this. If Mark and Dale are not confrontational people, and they're trying to get Jan to help them settle up the property and take care of what's in the house, and it's a lot for them to take on, and they're trying to get her to be involved in it, then I can see how this happened over a period of time. I just can. I just can. I don't know. We'll see. Mark and Dale come across as people who keep receipts. So we'll see. We'll see what they have to say, maybe. And maybe we won't. We're not owed it, but I would like to see it. Okay, so we're going over again compliance terms here. Okay, so here's where she's going to give them dates and deadlines. Immediate distribution of all funds owed. This is fucking insane. Okay, I mean insane. Within 10 business days of October 31st, by November 11th, 2024, which is not 10 business days, okay? Distribute the following funds as part of my lawful share under the original trust and will. First installment of property devaluation loss, $109,802.50. First installment of rental income loss, $158,400. The tax penalties of $23,035. And discrepancy in funeral expenses, which is funny because if it was for the discrepancy and they said it was $31,700, but it was really $3,400, then it would be the fucking difference, you idiot. Okay, I'm gonna keep my cool. Cool. First installment is due. The first installment due within 10 days. Now it's just 10 days. It's not 10 business days. $322,012.37. Like, are you fucking high? Are you high? Okay, come on. And here we go again. Within 30 business days of October 31st, by December 12th, which again is not business days. It's just not business days. Okay. Provide reimbursement for the remaining balance. Second installment of property devaluation loss. Again, we want the full thing. $109,000. Second installment of rental income loss. So the second installment due within 30 days is $322,012.37 for a total due within 30 days of $590,214.87. Mind you, this is sent under threat of prosecution or accused of a crime. If you do not submit to her demands within 30 days, she's going to file a criminal complaint against you. That's what this says. Okay? Disclose the name and location of the storage unit where my mother's assets are held within 10 business days of October 31st, which is by November 11th, not really. Grant immediate access and provide a complete inventory of all items. You already have that. This is insane. We've seen it. You've been given this. This document is from 2024, October 31st of 2024. All of those inventories that we saw and that list with everybody's initials, those are from 2020, 2022, 2023, repeatedly. This has been complied with when she's given her insane demands. And yes, they do have an attorney. And I have it on good authority that their attorneys are very good attorneys. So, yeah, okay, you know what? Gangsters are smart, usually. Like, yeah, they're criminals and whatnot, whatever. But they're typically smarter at this than Jan seems to be. It's making my brain freeze. Never had to work. Okay. Sorry, Jan doesn't know how to count 10 business days because she's never had to work on business days to know what they are. Right. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to get this finished up a little quicker. I'm just running a little over my time and I'm happy with that. But like I said, I want to keep these short. So, she wants oh my God, I didn't even get into this part. She wants a professional appraisal of everything. I think including stuff that sold within 30 business days. And I'm just going to stop ragging on her for that. The appraisal must be referenced against the 1989 video inventory and your records from the 2011 appraisal, including photos of each piece of personal property to ensure all items are documented and appraised accurately. You know what? Do it. You do it. Why do they? There's one thing in here on one of these letters. I got to find it again on what I will find and go over, where she wants them to deliver her stuff to her. If you do not comply with these demands, so we're doubling down on the criminal stuff, guys. We are doubling down because this is preparation for what we're going to do to Greg. 100%. If you do not comply with these demands, I will take the following actions. Law enforcement investigation. I will file a formal complaint with law enforcement requesting an investigation into potential theft, embezzlement, and fraud concerning your management of estate assets. Full compliance with these demands will prevent this action, although she said before that it wouldn't. Okay. I'm gonna finish and then I'm gonna come back. Complaint to the New Mexico Attorney General. A complaint will be filed with the New Mexico Attorney General's office, which is literally the same thing. Like you can, okay. Anyway, detailing potential violations of trust law. Well, I thought it was blatant and obvious and targeted, whatever. Undue influence, misuse of estate funds, and any discrepancies in estate-related tax filings or insurance records that may indicate further mismanagement. Full compliance with these demands will prevent this action. Is she trying to get charged? What is it? Theft by extort/accuse of crime? Like, that's what's happening here. Am I insane? Helicopter. She wants a helicopter and a Cayman Island. Yeah, she's not in charge of what law and enforcement investigates. I bet she uses Laura's bookmark for the FBI online tip form. True story. I'm sure she does. It's wild because you can report elder abuse and financial abuse. You can report those things. But you don't get to decide who investigate, like whether it's investigated or not. You don't get to make those decisions. And again, we go back to potential theft, embezzlement, and fraud. But in previous statements, you said it was absolutely those things. Blatant. Blatant. Okay. Regardless of compliance with immediate financial demands. So here we go. I reserve the right to petition to reopen probate to address breaches of fiduciary duty, unauthorized asset distributions, and any mismanagement of estate assets. This action assures that all estate matters, including potential tax and insurance discrepancies, are properly reviewed and rectified under New Mexico law. Who does she? Is there a fairy that does this kind of stuff that I'm not aware of? Because that's not how it works. Okay. Civil action for financial damages. Well, that's kind of the same thing, dodo bird. Compliance with these demands will protect you from immediate law enforcement involvement, but will not prevent me from pursuing full civil remedies for damages caused by your actions. Okay, this is the dumbest ransom demand ever, including compensation for any tax liabilities, penalties, and financial losses arising from your handling of estate insurance tax matters. Why would you pay her? Why would you pay? If you ransom something and somebody gives you the money, you're supposed to give them the thing, which if it's a extortion, you're supposed to give them the thing that you have against them, right? Like, why would they pay you? This is so dumb. God, I'm almost offended. How dumb it is. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Well, bless your soul for listening to my voice at 1.5 times. Please, somebody pray for this person. Okay. She can no longer accept the disregard and heartlessness with which you've handled this estate. What you have done, or rather refused to do, has forced me to take this final unavoidable stand. This letter is a call to acknowledge and respect the trust of she did punch in mother there, our mother placed in you, which you have systematically betrayed. Systematically? It's still not a right word, but okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, no, there's no evidence of it, but I totally believe there's a reason why Mark and Dale are the trustees and Ron and Jan aren't equal trustees. I absolutely think there's a reason behind that. I also think it's weird that Dale was a beneficiary for some things. It's interesting. Yeah, I just like this is so weird. Please confirm in writing by November 7th how you plan to address these demands. That's a weird date to throw in the middle there. If you fail to meet these demands within the timeline outlined, I will move forward with legal action and involve law enforcement. Like, okay. Sure, Jen. Sure. Do it. Please do it. It's crazy. And I think that last page is just the attorney's or her signature. Oh, she was CCing the two attorneys, which is hilarious because, like, I don't think that attorney was even representing her anymore. And so I will say again, we started with the letter, the initial, sorry, on page 104, the initial demand, right? The final demand, I should say. This document was included in a filing by Mark and Dale, and I think there's a reason for that. I think there's a reason for that. That's all I'm going to say, because it's insane to me that this has been sent when it's incorrect. And so I will go over in the next one because I know I jumped in this document a lot, but I really wanted to finish the attachment of the letter I read last night, but I'll go back to the beginning, which is actually not the bookmark page. Hold on. Which is the actual attorney's response to it's basically a response to the demand, but it's a response to her opening the probate. And it goes over item by item the fact that she doesn't have a case. And then we go over dates, specific dates where repeatedly she was given the information that she was requesting. And this is my problem too. No complaints. In all the years since her mother's death. And she's been broke a lot even between that time, right? Like, that's not new. I think it was very telling that it was done right before the GoFundMe and ultimately when payments started being made on accounts. And then a bankruptcy. I mean, we stopped paying the Owens stopped paying their mortgages in December. I now see why they might have needed money so badly. Like, and this didn't, so somebody can make the argument, well, she needed the money really bad, so he didn't pay her, so that's why she was bankrupt. I'm going to tell you right now, no. So yeah, it's just wild. I could keep saying it over and over again, but we'll talk about more. My plan is to do these Wednesdays and Thursdays because that's the night that's best for me. I am not going to unalive myself doing this. Love everybody, but I just can't do it that way. So I'm going to try to start out with 2 days a week and keep it consistent because Bruce says that that's the good way to do it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And maybe I'll throw one in here and there just to, keep everything flowing, but that's my intention. And then right, that's the thing, they were still making money. What the heck? Okay, again, I could get very easily distracted. Get a library card. That's what I'm going to sign off with. It's the most amazing thing. If you are a property owner, but even if you're not, it is like the most bang for your buck in property taxes that you could have. You get so much digital stuff on a library card. It's insane. I have access to every library in Michigan. Like, it's wild. In other states, you can get that. Your digital access is for it's amazing. So please get a library card. And until next time, see you later.